thank you to our supporters. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yo, Salaam nerds! It's your boy Neves, aka Watch with Neves, and I'm here with my co-host Jazz, aka the Jazz Beneath the Boards.
I was curious what you're gonna go with this.
You like that, right? You like that. Oh
I'm
my
okay
god. Jazz, today is the first episode of our third season. We're in through season 3. Get out of here.
Revert back to season 1.
I know. No, man. This is the first episode of season 3. That means we have done 100 episodes. We have done 100 episodes, which is wild to me. It's just crazy. We just started in February, and I literally thought we were not going to get past 20. I thought like we were going to do 20 episodes. They're going to take 6 months to do, and then we were going to quit. I did not buy any equipment. I did not buy any lighting, and now I got like a whole setup. And I was like, listen, maybe this might be something real.
And even if it's not, man, like I'm just having fun doing this. Like this is my getaway from all the bullshit of the week. Like
yeah.
So,
well, a lot of our success has to do with all the guests we have today. And look, man, these guys are elevating us to the next level with their expertise. They're part of the family now. So that's what happened. Like, there's guests, and then there's family. So JJ,
okay,
Rich,
Vin Diesel.
Yeah. This is the Fast and Furious episode.
It's a She-Hulk family moment.
Yes. I'm gonna come in with a baby. That's my son. Like.
You know, somebody in Game of Thrones might do, or House of the Dragon might do that too, because they're just like, oh yeah, we have another son here.
Listen,
that is gonna happen.
Aegon's got some bastards, man, running around. Oh man, that's awesome. All right, listen, the king is dead. The king is dead, and shit's starting to hit the fan. So, what do you guys think what's going on with that, man?
I'm gonna pass it off to Richard, though. Like. Start us off.
Okay, so I mean, we definitely saw Viserys whenever he passed at the end of last episode. So I spent all week thinking of, basically how this Green Council is going to go down. And fortunately, they did name the episode the Green Council, which is, I mean, what else could you name it? I mean, other than the Beast Beneath the Boards. R.I.P., my guy. the most competent Targaryen king we will ever see. Really, like, actually sit the throne, because from then on out, it's just a shit show. No, this
R.I.P.
was
my man.
R.I.P. He he really fumbled the bag right there with the telling Alicent, mistaking Alicent for Rhaenyra, because now in her bones, Alicent feels like she is doing the right thing, and she was like the dam that was holding back these floodgates, even though everyone else on the council, had already had these plans going on this whole time behind her back. She was the one who could make or break, this entire thing happen. And now that she believes it in her bones and in her soul that this is the way moving forward, there's no turning back now. As if there was any turning back in the past, like 5 episodes.
No. JJ, what about you? You got what are want to say your last respects to the king, the peaceful king?
Yes, Viserys the Peaceful, R.I.P. to him. He was a good man, but not the greatest king. He was indecisive, pathetic at times. Could have made some different choices, like naming his daughter as the Hand, and solved a lot of problems. But it's hard not to feel bad for him. I have some issues with this episode that, unfortunately, when you sit down and think about things, yeah.
All right. I feel like a lot of stuff is gonna go on, so let's talk about it. So, the episode starts off with the housekeeper or the people who work at the castle finding out that the king's dead, and then there's like silence. There's like shit's going down. The way they shot that scene was so eerie. It was like in the dead of night, or super early in the morning, where like you can still see the twilight, and you kind of just like get this sense of like, a lot of things are happening. Not a lot of people know about it. It's super hush hush, and and then there's a lot of secrecy going on here. And then we learn that when Otto Hightower has his little council, um, they've been planning this forever. They've been planning this even without whatchamacallit,
The queen.
the queen. So that was wild. What are your thoughts on the secret council?
You know what? Like I'm having such an issue with inconsistencies with Alicent Hightower's character. Like if you go back 3 episodes ago when Aegon was younger, when she caught him on a window and that scene, she shakes him like, you're the rightful king. This isn't like a new thing for her. And for her to be kept out of loop and acting like she didn't know what her father was planning, to me, like they've already really victimized this character and they removed every agency and ambition out of her. Which, if you read Fire and Blood, like watching that all of that unfold is very strange because Alicent has a very active role in that Green Council when it comes to crowning her son. So to me, I see what they're trying to do. They want to like layer her as a villain and sympathize more with her, putting her in uncomfortable situations, that she's a tool of patriarchy. I get it. But at the same time, you have no qualm crowning an incompetent rapist as the king. So what are you going to do? Guide him gently to not be that? I'm having a problem with her characterizations. Like they're not trying to like commit her to anything. And it's driving me crazy as a viewer and as a reader. So I don't know. Like pour one out for my man Lyman Beesbury.
Oh man, they did him so wrong. And that poor man, you know, I honestly get the feeling that they like plotted right in front of his face, but he was so old and just not really understanding what was going on around him that they've been plotting in front of his face this whole time, and it's just kind of one of those.
Right. And did you notice what he was wearing? He was the only one in Targaryen colors on that whole meeting. Yeah. So like, like how do you plan a coup for the past, a decade without him hearing whispers of it, talks of it, that this is happening? Like, how do they keep this so contained?
Well, I'd imagine most of it didn't actually go down at the small council meetings because Alicent would have been there and been privy. But also, if she wasn't there, you know, there's a few episodes where like they move on from topic to topic and he's like stuck like 2 topics prior to. And he's just like, he just seems kind of, I mean, he looked more composed and alive, I guess, than he ever has before because he's always like kind of just been like almost falling asleep at the table.
Seems to be a theme.
Yeah, I do like the change, at least from Fire and Blood, how it went from Kristen Cole slitting his throat. When you see him kind of stand up behind him, I'm like, oh, here we go. This is going to be very close to source material, and then it ends up being the accidental head crush. It was a good taste, a good touch because I don't see Kristen actually just opening some dude's throat, without provocation. But also, like the moment it happened, he didn't even care. He was just like, "Yeah, that happened."
That dude is so trigger happy.
Yeah, he's unhinged at the moment.
Completely
unhinged. That's the best way to pronounce it. That guy is just freaking unhinged about like the way he feels about stuff, and then he'll just say things like really weird shit, like everything's the image of the mother, and then he also just called like Rhaenyra a cunt, Rhaenyra a cunt a little while ago, and it's just like wild.
He's going through his Madonna whore complex currently. I mean,
through it.
Talk about not letting go. A one night stand you had 20 years
I
ago.
really want to know how good that Targaryen lay was for him to just still
not let go.
Still not over it, bro. It's been years.
She must have shown him some things off screen because from what we saw, it was just simple missionary, and it was like, all right, great, but like, I'm sure they do way better shit on the Street of Silk. So.
It was very sensual, that whole scene. So maybe I can kind of see it was very sensual, very passionate.
Listen, I bet when you do it with the Targaryens, it's fire.
That pussy fire. Oh, when we were like tweeting out the links and stuff like that, I realized that there are shoe emojis. There are no foot emojis.
Oh,
I
man.
really wanted to
Listen.
put some foot emojis.
Listen. When I watched She-Hulk and I saw that scene in the courtroom where she puts on the shoes, I was like, oh, I can kind of see what feet people have. You know, I kind of see what they're saying. Their feet are very attractive. And then I saw this scene and I'm like, fuck no. I do not want to be associated with feet people. Hell the fuck no. That is so creepy.
We don't kink shame in this house, but feet people are just a special kind of.
Listen, whatever Lars do, it's shamed. I don't care if he's doing missionary. Whatever he does, it comes out creepy. I don't care what it is. He can make anything creepy.
Character. He's a very disturbing character. He is a Lord Confessor, meaning he likes to torture people, and Laris happens to enjoy the torture. And he could get feet anywhere else, and the fact that he's getting it from the most powerful woman in the kingdom. Oh yeah, it was very humiliating, very degrading.
That's got to be half of it. Just knowing that, like, I'm not only in the inner circle, but I can make the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms take her shoes off for me, and then be complicit in my self gratification right next to her.
It was so uncomfortable. Like I think I looked away. I couldn't look at that.
Oh,
like
I was personally dying laughing on the inside.
I was just like, this is not like this, guys, not like this. But like, you know what happened? They actually showed him with this fetish the episode before. We just didn't notice because she quietly takes her shoes off, and I thought it was just like she had a long day.
That's what I thought too. She was relaxing.
She's in her own chambers, and they're about to have dinner. It was. Yes, it definitely was cringe.
It was so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Listen, Otto might be the hand of the king, but he's the feet of the queen.
Foot of the queen. Michelle said that. Yeah, she's the foot of the queen.
Oh, you guys are brutal.
Oh man, that is funny. That's funny.
Oh my god.
But let's talk about the tension in the room, because nobody was allowed to leave until they made a decision. And if you make a decision, you know what's gonna happen. How do you feel about that?
So the way they portrayed the confusion and the chaos and the uncertainty following the king's death and the usurping process, I thought it was brilliant because it was so quiet and eerie, and everybody looked confused and lost, like the citizens and all that, while all the moving chess pieces that Otto put in place were sort of guiding the table around. To me, that was like really nicely choreographed. I love that moment. And the fact that they were executing and arresting anybody that did not bend their knee to Aegon was also a nice touch. In Fire and Blood, actually, Alicent keeps Viserys' body rotting for like a month, I would say. Like he starts to smell.
More of a week, but it's
something like that. I know it's long.
And the dude was rotting before he died. Let's be honest.
True. But like you could smell him, and she would arrest anybody that had a suspicion that he died. They wanted to prolong that process for as long as possible because that council meeting took like hours for them to decide what's going on. And Alicent was an active participant in all of that, which is why when they made her say like, "Oh, you've been planning this without me the whole time," I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You knew this was going down. You just reaffirmed your biases with your dying husband and his dying wish after watching him strut away in the throne room to reaffirm his daughter with his little dying breath. Like,
it hadn't even been like 24 hours. Like, it just happened.
He died that night after dinner.
It was wild, and I really like it. The tension felt like it was almost like a courtroom where like the jury cannot leave until they come to a decision, right? And then like you can get convinced of anything if you're stuck for like 12 hours, man. Which was, I think, pretty interesting.
Neebs, hang on 1 second, my guy.
Bugging out.
Froze on my screen.
You are frozen.
Well, that's one way to do it.
All right, well, I'm the new main host now. Hi, everybody.
So, hey, Salaam nerds, welcome. I'm here with my boy Richard.
Yeah, well, when it comes to like tactics and stuff like that, you obviously want to keep the element of surprise as long as you can, which is why she hid his body away, because I mean the whole time she's trying to get her pieces in place. First of all, she's got to find the idiot she's trying to put on the throne. I'm really wondering how did Aegon know that his dad was dead, because he was pretty intentionally hiding and trying to get out of King's Landing. Like, he was trying to make a run for it, it seems, because the way they find him and then him seeing them immediately, he already knew like what was about to go down, that he was just about to get dragged in and have a throne thrown on his head. And as much as I don't ever want to sympathize with the rapist piece of shit, he really, really did not look happy on the way, like getting dragged up there. It was like almost like a shotgun wedding, but like
and he tells Aemon, "Put me on a ship. I'll sail away. You'll never see me again." And things would have been so much different if that actually happened, because Aemon is way more competent. And Aemon thought about it. There was like a lot of, once again, this whole second brother, second son theme peeks through with a lot of these characters, with Daemon, with Vaemond, with Otto, Laird Strong, with I already mentioned those characters. So like that second son syndrome really popped out of Aemon when he's like, when you are whoring around and doing this, I am sharpening my sword. Right. If call ever comes, I'm going to be available, unlike you. And then they tussle and he spits in his good eye, which was very funny to me.
Oh, man, that was funny.
Very classic sibling rivalry.
You did mention that you don't know how Aegon knew. I think Viseria probably told him, right? Because she's the one that kind of captured him.
Probably, yeah, she might have told him.
Yeah, but I don't think that they exchanged any. I'd have to rewatch, but I don't believe there were any words exchanged. The moment he gets yanked out, when Arik and Eric yank him out, he's already like he was hiding there on purpose. I don't think.
Oh, was he?
It seemed that way. Like what
he looked hungover. Like he looked like he was drinking all night. Yeah, unless he crawled in there to spend the night. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do love the fact that Mysaria leveraged his location to actually put some perspective on the small folks and what they're going through, because there's a recurring theme in this world that the small folks end up suffering under the foot of these colonizers and these monarchs and these feudalist lords. So for her to be like, you stop the child fighting rings. Jesus Christ, that was so disturbing. Like they sharpen their nails and they let their hair get long, so it's as brutal as possible. I was like, what the fuck? And the fact that he might be that Aegon himself might be betting on his own bastards in those rings. To me, that was so disgusting.
Yeah, that baby Fight Club scene was wild.
That was terrible. That was wild.
The blood flying everywhere. I was like,
it was so disturbing. And again, we don't get a lot of
you can see the spray of blood when they slash each other. That was pretty gruesome.
You don't get to see a lot of perspective from the common folks. Not in this story. Like everything is happening to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
the most you ever see is a whorehouse, like the inside of a whorehouse. That's the most like commoners you're ever gonna see.
That's it.
So speaking of Baby Fight Club, one of the kids, they mentioned that he is related to the king. Well, the now king. Is he a character? Because people think he might be an important character.
I don't know if Rich will agree. That might be. Do you think that might
is
be?
Is that a spoiler or no?
Not a big one.
No, it's. I don't think it's. Yeah, but I don't think it's a very consequential spoiler. It doesn't really change.
Not right now. Yeah, I mean, if they go that far, like there is an event that may involve little Gaemon, pale hair, possibly. Again, they're taking a lot of liberties. Obviously, with this episode too, something happened towards the end that they changed majorly. So we'll see. But yeah, that kid, he'll show up later for sure.
Okay.
It's not a big spoilers, but pay attention to him. Yeah,
it did look like that. But like, is he breeding these kids to fight? Is that the purpose, or he just like?
No, I think they're just not a means to an end, but like basically like, if you can't abort them after they're born, have them just kill each other. That's it.
Basically,
that is wild. That is wild.
It's terrible.
Plan C, we call it.
And it just goes to tell you, Alicent, and her hypocrisy of her son having bastards, being a rapist, being a drunkard, being incompetent, and then she's like, "Well, we'll guide him gently. We guide the men gently behind the screen." But by the way, that was my favorite conversation, probably in the whole series, between her and Rhaenys.
We're gonna get to that. That was amazing. That was
best
phenomenal. So I want to talk about Otto out here rolling a blunt and like stealing it to send to the Raven.
Otto, I seen the meme where like they had like the green silky on and everything, like a teardrop tattoo.
He had his rolling papers and he put the wax on, gave it to the Raven. He's making some plans, man. He's making some plans right now.
Yeah, the
Otto
longer
Hightower,
if they could have kept Rhaenys in the capital longer, they would have had much more time to establish allies outside of the capital. Because right now, yeah, it's basically like you just got to go from lord to lord, and as they showed in the throne room, there's a few lords who just refuse to bend the knee, and so if you're not like right there under their thumb, or basically like being coerced into it, there's gonna be a lot of lords who are just like, no, we swore oaths a long time ago, and unfortunately, most of those lords, it's been 20 years, most of them are dead, right. But their sons or whoever succeeded them hopefully has some shred of decency and honor, and they're going to uphold those oaths. But right now, while they have the element of surprise, they're going to try and basically pull a fast one. So
we'll see how it goes. Right, and it doesn't help that Rhaenyra has been on Dragonstone for so long. She hasn't intermingled with the small folks. They know she was named eons ago, but like her father didn't give her a consequential role on the council for her to be inserted into their political system, for them to actually recognize her as the heir. And that's one of the many mistakes. We love Viserys, but we don't love Viserys. He's made a lot of mistakes, and he's sort of been like driving a bus full of mad people, and the hands are off wheel, and now like keg is about to explode. So
there's a new corporate word that people use nowadays called quietly quitting, and I feel like that's what he was doing. Quiet quitting.
I love that.
Yeah, Viserys just let Otto, once he got his job back, just slowly, and I'm sure Alicent was there, complicit in it as well, but just slowly stack the council, and most people in court as general, more or less allies to the Green. So that's half the reason they get the major advantage of, number one, they're in King's Landing. They have the Conqueror's throne. They have the throne room. They do have a few dragons. But
they have Vhagar, and because remember what Otto said like 2 episodes ago, we got us Vhagar out of this. He told Alicent that
he's worth more than like 1,000 eyes or 1,000 ships.
Vhagar, she's old and she's kind of slow, but her power is unmatched. Like especially because she's a big girl. Yeah. So
I saw a meme where it was it said Vhagar chose Aemond to be her rider so she could commit war crimes once again.
This entire show is just who's your favorite war criminal. That's all this is.
It's true story. Her former rider, besides Lena, R.I.P. to sweet Lena, was Visenya. She was kind of brutal. I love her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Maegor's mother. Like you can tell where Maegor got it from.
Oh yeah. Jazz, do you have anything in comments? I'm gonna go through some comments before we go on to the next part.
Yeah, let's go all the way back up because like we missed a bunch before we met on the show. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to follow what people are saying too.
I know there's so much going on. Okay. We are gonna talk. We may or may not talk about that interview with Sarah Hess.
I have not seen that interview, but I'm down to talk about
it. It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
We may or may not talk about that. It'll depend on. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna wait for this. I may talk about that one like more when the show wraps up to see what they're actually doing, where they're going with this. So I think I think that's
canceled.
She might.
I'm done.
Yeah.
If there's a petition to get her off, I'm done.
Yeah. Michelle saying Mysaria cared about the kids, but she might have been abused when she was younger.
She was a slave. Yeah, she was a former slave, and you can see scars on her neck where the shackles were.
Yeah.
I did not notice that. But okay.
Yep.
Palma saying,
and she tells Daemon, "I've been sold more times than I can count."
Yeah.
Palma says it was disgusting, that this is another added element of how unsuitable Aegon is for rule. 100% agreed. And yes, even if Alicent didn't know about this, she knew about everything else he has done.
She disowned him 2 episodes ago. Like, what is happening? Like, to me, that it's just inconsistency in her character, like not sticking to anything, having no gall about anything. It's just, I love Rhaenyra, but let me drag her placenta down the fucking stairs so I can check the skin and hair of her baby, please.
I would say, and that baby, it's like that it was just born, so it's like
literally
like
seconds.
Babies like it look like blue, like when they come out sometimes, and all sorts of weird colors. Like
they look like potatoes.
You have to give it like 4 or 5 days at least before you can be like, oh, okay, that's definitely not.
Yeah, no, newborn babies are ugly.
They are. They're awful looking. I mean,
not my niece. Not my niece. I'm kidding.
Here's my hot
take.
I actually think all babies are ugly. Like when they first come out, I think they're all ugly.
Well,
I
you're
don't know.
covered in
You gotta
blood
give
and
them, like,
placenta.
I feel
couple
like you're
weeks
biased
in
to your
there,
own. You can't
You're
like
biased
not
to your own,
like
yeah.
you're biased to your own because I can never
Shout
say
out
that about my
Allison,
niece.
by the way.
I can't say
both
that.
of
My
my
niece is the
nephews, right? They were
cutest.
like blobs. I'm just like, you can say
Your sister-in-law watches the show, man. You better chill.
she does watch the show, I know, but and she knows I love
Your brother-in-law,
my nephews,
too.
do not get me wrong, but the first time I saw them, I'm like, no. But then, like, day 4 or 5, like Richard's saying, yeah, that's cool.
All right. We got some more. We got some more quotes here. Hold on. Masters, why does this letter smell earthy? The raven has red eyes. The raven has red eyes.
We're all having some fun today.
Oh man, the Hightower jokes are good. I like them. They're
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah,
Rhaenyra
that
should have
was-
been made ham.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It would
Absolutely.
have prepared her so much better to rule.
I like
than
this
him.
comment
The
from
Green
Michelle. The
Council.
Green Council. Yes, we know what the green is.
That's
Choice.
strong.
All right. Let's talk about one of the best parts of the episode, and that is the conversation between Alicent and Rhaenys and their conversation, because
Oh.
that is awesome. The line about how we guide the men, like,
Yes.
we don't rule them, but we guide them. It was kind of like, remind me of this old saying that we have in cultures, like women are the neck. Even though they're not the head of the household, they're the neck of the household because they can turn which way the head faces, like one of these like old folk saying. So it
Yep.
kind of reminded me of that. And then my favorite thing was, which like, do you desire not to be free, but make a window in the wall of your prison? That is one of the best lines. I was like, oh shit. And I feel like this line can apply to so many things in the real
So
life.
many
Like
things.
men of color sometimes don't want to dismantle the patriarchy or racism. They just want
They just want
a
their
seat at
view
the
at the
table
top.
or a view or a window, right? And like white women, same thing, man. Like,
It's true.
sometimes they'll be complacent in a lot of these situations because they don't want to dismantle patriarchy. They just want to be girl boss and be
Bill
up there.
Burr, for his opening monologue for what's it called? SNL, basically just rips into white women like, you.
Oh, I love that
Gucci
segment.
booted feet. You're right here next to me in the jacuzzi. Shut up. Shut up and
Yeah.
let the Me Too movement go back to what it was.
They're the same women that are offering camping trips and dressing up as handmaidens at courtrooms, which is just performative activism and
Right.
placing
Oh,
attention on yourself.
yes.
Like those are the same women, like these white liberal women who think they're doing activism, but they're all
Oh
they're
my
doing is
goodness!
performing for TikTok
when I was at
videos.
the George Floyd protest in Houston, I just remember like looking up and seeing and for the most part, I just wanted to be there, and we wanted to be calm and peaceful. But there was just this one girl with a megaphone, white girl,
Yeah.
5'4", and just screaming, and I'm just like, you should be down here with us showing support. That's their voice, so let them have it. It was super cringe to me because she was like really
so
emotional, and I'm just like, but this is their moment. Like, why are you're literally just
Center
taking your
yourself
Gucci-
and at the
Gucci
root of the
food,
problem. Yeah.
head over and want to be dead center. Once again, you don't want to dismantle the patriarchy. You just
No.
want your piece of it. So down with the patriarchy. By the way,
That's
Yes.
Rhaenys, the queen, the queen that never was, the queen that we deserved
So
Yes.
I'm
so
so glad
much.
her epithet is queen because she earned that epithet.
Yo.
But before we
She's the baddest bitch beneath the boards. That's what I said.
before we talk about that, I just want to point something out that I'm seeing a little bit of a discourse right now that Rhaenys was like a hypocrite talking about getting behind Rhaenyra, letting women rule when she herself is basically passing on her granddaughters regarding Driftmark. And I'm like, Driftmark is not Rhaenys' to give away. Corlys is still alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to me, and Rhaenys does not claim that she isn't free, that she isn't part of the system. She's just saying you are in power, Alicent. You can change the situation, but you are choosing, basically you're in service of your dad, of your husband, and now your son. All you're doing is building a prison, and all you're doing is building a window in your own prison cell. So I love that conversation. I don't care for what happens next for a couple of reasons, but we can talk about that
Okay.
when it comes.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about in that conversation was really they needed her dragon. That was the big thing,
Yes.
right? They needed her dragon. They needed her in the alliance because without her, Rhaenyra had to come to some kind of negotiation. She had to come to the table.
Yeah.
And I see like this thing with Alicent, just like they kind of make us kind of want to root for her because she is trying to avoid some bloodshed, but she's also the part of the problem. So it's very complicated. And you see her hustling and trying to find Aegon and trying to do all of this stuff, and she's just all over the place. And I feel like it is a little inconsistent of her character because we don't know which way she's going, but I don't know. Maybe they haven't decided which way they want to take her character in the future. So I don't know. We'll see.
We'll have to wait and see. Because again, I thought I had an idea, and Rich, you read the book, you've had an idea, but everything has sort of been changed in terms of her.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even from the get go, Otto doesn't, in Fire and Blood, Otto isn't really made to be seen as like a master conspirator of all this. It's all Alicent's idea. It's always been her idea. Meanwhile, Otto has just been pressing down heavily on that scale the entire time. Every chance he gets, he's pressing down on that scale. Even from the moment Aegon was 2 years old, he was pressing on. Shit, before that, just to set his daughter up to be the next queen.
That's it. The moment he pimped her out to Viserys,
the moment he said, "Try on one of your mom's," you might try one of your mom's dresses. I was like, "Oh, this is the
wheel in motion."
You straight up just pimped your daughter out, dude.
Basically,
to an old dying man.
And that was the start of it all. That's why, like, you can blame the misunderstanding with Viserys at the end of his conversation with Alicent, but this game has been playing for a long time.
Yeah,
this is coming regardless of Viserys's last dying words. They had a plan, and he says it right in the council. Well, now let's get to work and let's kill Rhaenyra and her children. And Alicent is acting outraged because her father told her, if Rhaenyra succeeds, she'll kill your children. And he's here advocating murder of her children. Like, what kind of a hypocrite are you?
It's wild because you hear them say, like, we didn't want to concern you about from nasty schemes. Like, so you just admit you have this nasty scheme. Like, bro.
You're right. Oh, my God, you're right. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Just told everybody in front of the table that this was their nasty scheme. Like, what?
Yeah. At that point, you confess, like, cards on the table, man. Like, the river, flopped and King's dead. Cards on the table. At that point,
it's funny.
Yeah, you're all in at that point. It's just like let's see what the other team is holding because we're already in the mix.
That's why I like this one quote. Go ahead.
No, I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, that's why I like this one quote that they said that there is no power but what people allow you to take, right? And I feel like that's what's happening here. Like, people are just allowing them to do all this stuff. Everyone's just standing there watching, bending the knee. Like, everyone's just allowing this to happen. And that's what power is. Like, people allow you to take it. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and before we move on from a small council, just give it up for Harold Westerling for being a legit Kingsguard, holding his oath, and the fact that Graham McTavish survived another day. This character dies early on in the book and that's when Crystal Cole becomes Rhaenyra's sworn shield. Here he's just part of the Kingsguard, but like in the book he becomes her sworn shield. In this case, it's Harold Westerling, and he did the Barristan Selmy. Fuck you, this isn't cool, I'm out. So I was very happy that he survived. I mean, they're wasting Graham McTavish. They're not giving him a lot to do or any dialogue. So I'm hoping we'll see some return in the future.
So Palma's in the comments. She's saying getting rid of Daemon loyalists from the City Watch. That was a big scheme.
That was like step number 2 for them. Dividing the gold.
Yep. That's crazy.
Getting the
Shout out to
resources now.
Lannister. That was a great idea.
Conversation they're alluding to having. House Tully, House Tyrell. Like, there was
rich
some
houses.
Crazy scheming.
These are rich houses. Yep, absolutely.
They were scheming. All right. All right. Now let's talk about the big stuff. The coronation. Freaking. This was wild. So they had to find this motherfucker, and then they start like hyping him up and gassing him up and like telling him like, listen, this is you. This is what's supposed to happen. And he's kind of like, no, my father hates me. No one loves me. I don't want to do this. Right? But then he sees the dagger and gets the dagger, and then he started like feeling himself a little bit, right?
Proud.
Like, why do you think that happened? Why do you think he just like flipped the switch? And like I feel like the crowd cheering for him also kind of added to that, but he kind of like started drinking his own Kool-Aid.
You answered your own question. Like, the crowd really hyped him up because this is the first time this adult now has been accepted. Your father doesn't love you. Your mother thinks you're an imbecile. You are a complete fucking mess and a terrible person and a criminal. And all of a sudden, they put a crown on your head, gave you Blackfire and the dagger, and the people are cheering for you. And it's like, oh, they like me. They really, really like me. And that was just like a big moment.
It reminded me of that scene in The Boys where Homelander kills somebody in front of everybody and they start cheering for him.
Yes!
And he's just like,
Yes!
okay.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, to quote
That's a great point.
our favorite imp, it's hard to put a leash on a dog when you put a crown on his head.
Yes.
And the moment they put that
Perfect.
crown on his head, he becomes a different animal entirely because now he's really he's embracing his role because his whole life he's mentally told himself like I'm not taking Rhaenyra's crown. He had to be dragged out there, damn near. Physically dragged, and they had to throw the crown on his head and say, "You're doing this. Shut up."
Basically.
Yeah.
And did you notice how his wife, Helena, she was crying? There was a tear rolling down her eyes, which I caught a little bit later, but she turned away. The moment that crown went on his head, she goes away, and she either looked at Aemon or just looked away, which is very telling because a lot of people are now speculating that those kids, Jaehaera and Jaehaerys, are not Aegon's.
Ooh,
So,
really?
yeah, which I can see kind of making sense, which is going to make Blood and Cheese even worse now. But when he walked in, when Helena and Alicent were talking in her bedroom with the kids around, Aemon walked in and looked straight at Helena, and Helena looked at him. There's almost like a moment. A week ago, I would have said this theory is totally tinfoil batshittery, but I actually now might believe it. The way she stroked his arm too, when Meleys was staring at them. If those kids are his, again, just a theory, just a speculation.
See, for me, I thought it was because she foresaw it. She had a vision, so she knew as soon as they placed that crown on his head, what was going to happen, right?
I think
she kind of saw that, but she also knew that she wasn't going to die because she did not flinch. She's like, I know that she's not going to go through with it. I know what's going to happen. Like people got to start listening to our girl, man.
Yeah, everything that comes out of her mouth is important, other than
everything.
Actually everything. But so I think her dreams are more like she doesn't actually see like the event unfold. What she's seeing is like an interpretation of it. Like
I agree.
Because if she did think that the beast beneath the boards was gonna pop out right then and there, she'd have been like, "Hey, let's not get crowned in the dragon pit. Let's go elsewhere. Why am I here with my kids? When I know, this is gonna."
No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right.
It's more of like an interpretation. Where
but also, I feel like nobody really listens to her. Even if she said, "Don't do it here," no one would really listen to her.
Like, shut
no,
up.
you're right. You're absolutely right. Again, she reminds me of Patchface, and he was like a prophetic little, like a court's fool that would jester. Thank you. He would repeat all of these little riddles that are full of prophecies, but never actually clear what they say, like fish and flying in the sky, which you can interpret as a dragon, and there's all these different things. So she reminded me of Patchface every time she spits a riddle. And everything he says keeps coming true.
Yeah, but we didn't get our Shrek moment where like the dragon comes in and eats everybody or anything, which I thought was sad. I really wanted to see that, but obviously there can't be a story if you don't see that. I see a lot of people complaining why she didn't just do that, and there's tons of reasons. Number one, plot, because we need a show for like 5 seasons, and number two, like there is a big thing about like kinslaying, right? Like
it's a big thing.
It's huge. And also, she's like, not my circus, not my monkey, man. Like,
well, and they already established that she does not have the best relationship with Rhaenyra. Like, why would she just kill for her straight up? But again, that scene was silly to me for a couple of reasons. Like, and I got a lot of initially when it first happened, because I love dragons and I love seeing them. Like, I was like hype. I was like, let's fucking go, more dragons. But when you really sit down and think about it, like, she killed hundreds of small folks. Like that.
But civilians don't count in Game of Thrones. They're just like they're literally peasants. Like they don't matter.
Yeah, but we just talked about Missaria. We just talked about the children in the ring and she fighting for their agency. And you mentioned a quote like the power is what people give you. Like there's some mentions of these people. Like they do matter, and that
but
needs
not
to be
to them though. Not to the highborns.
Not to them.
Right? Not to the highborns.
You're right. 100%. Yeah. But if like hindsight is 20/20, like. We know what's going to happen. Right. How would Rhaenys know what would happen? In her head, oh, this is a message. I'm taking the side of my niece. Let's go. And she leaves. Like, and by all intents and purposes, Aegon is king. Yeah. You're not going to kill a king who just got crowned by Septon in front of like 20,000 people. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Hold my beer.
I mean, I would. Don't get me wrong. At least Otto.
Yeah,
and
you
Chris
get rid of all of your enemies in one fell swoop. But
right.
like you're saying, kinslaying is just
But it's also a girl boss moment. Girl boss moment that doesn't really do
she
anything.
She won't be privy or be forced into taking your side just because you have, you know, a little bit of leverage on her, you know, basically, you know, just locking her in a room. She was able to just show like, no, I am my own person. I am a boss bitch. And I'm going to leave with the statement.
Also, she might not have believed him. Like, she might say she agrees, and they might kill her anyways. Or she says, I want to be neutral, and they might kill her anyways. Like,
oh, she would have been put to sword if she
didn't
took
give an
sides.
answer.
Immediately.
She didn't give an answer to Alicent, if you remember. She instead asked her the question, do you see yourself on the throne? And then it cuts away to a different scene. She never answered the question to us.
You're right. And she tells, and Alicent tells her, ring the bell when you made your decision. Basically, you pick Rhaenyra, you're going into the dungeon or to the sword. Period. That's what they're doing. They hung Lord Coswell, I think.
Yeah.
One of them, yeah. Like right in front of everybody to send a message. If you don't bend the knee to the king, you're not going to be spared of this.
Or no, especially if you're going to go run and tell Rhaenyra. Because they arrested the ones who weren't bending the knee. And we don't see what their fate is, but they obviously didn't get strung up like he did because he got caught trying to flee. And I believe,
send a message.
Yeah, he went to a gate that was mainly guarded by Rhaenyra loyalists, because there was, you know, all the heraldry wasn't changed as much over there. And I do believe, you know, earlier they had mentioned the replacing of the City Watch lieutenants or captains or whatever who were still loyal to Daemon. So at least some of the city is kind of under their control. And I think he picked his spot wisely, but the Greens were just already a few steps ahead and just knew that he was going to make a break for it. So they just kept their eyes open, and sure enough, he took the bait. So.
And I noticed that the some of the gold cloaks were holding people in the building. They were not letting them out. Are they the ones that we assume are loyalists to Daemon? Is that what that was?
I'm going to assume they wanted to contain Rhaenys and the dragon inside, per Otto's instructions not to leave the secret out. You know what I mean? They're so adamant to keeping the coronation away from Rhaenyra of her knowledge that there's some miscommunication with Otto and the gold cloaks. Like, if they know we are keeping everybody in here, Rhaenyra cannot know what's going on. And if everybody's trying to flee, if Rhaenys is trying to flee, like, how are you going to stop a dragon? Which, to me, it's weird. How big is Sunfire at this point? Why didn't Sunfire get riled up?
So I think it was funny that so in the in the text that they say that after the coronation, Aegon takes
Sunfire for a ride.
For a ride, but it was just the Maesters just like, oh yeah, a dragon definitely flew around, but we're just gonna write that it was Aegon's, you know, because most of the small folk wouldn't have been able to like see like, you know, like, oh, there's a person riding a dragon right there, cool. But,
you're right.
But they wouldn't have known that like, oh no, that was Rhaenys being a boss bitch and leaving on her own terms. So
and Eustace is not gonna write a pro Targaryen, pro Rhaenyra post. He's gonna say, "Oh yeah, Aegon flew his Sunfire and people cheered on."
We had the biggest crowds of all time, even more than Obama.
Solid.
I love that so much.
That was a really good impression of Trump. That was really good.
I really do a good Donald Trump, especially when I've been sick all week. It just comes from the throat.
Your hands got smaller. I just saw.
No.
I think you had the camera like.
I need to just start retweeting Obama so my hands can come back to this normal size.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny. One thing I did want to mention, if you go back to the first episode, Viserys said that he had a dream of his son being crowned with Aegon's crown, which actually happens this episode, which is kind of wild when you think about it. Like, so many episodes back, it ended up happening, which I thought was interesting. So, like, this was always what was going to happen. He just didn't know how.
Yeah.
And a lot of these dragon dreams are so misinterpreted by these kings. They end up making all kinds of shitty decisions based on these dreams because they interpret them either literally or they misinterpret them. Egg and the Summerhall tragedy, that was a whole fucking mess. And they're on the Dreamer. So it definitely, there's a trend here about these dreams being misinterpreted, information being misinterpreted. So yeah, it's on theme.
Whose cat was that?
Wasn't mine.
It was
It's
mine.
Cat Lady JJ, of course.
I was gonna say, why'd you even have to ask?
I know, right?
I fed them. They shouldn't be meowing. Lucky.
That's
Get away.
funny.
Get away.
They probably have opinions. They're like, listen, Rhaenys' outfit is fit. Why don't you talk about that yet?
Yeah,
One of
oh,
them was
man,
here
she
earlier
good.
trying to get my flag down. So
Team Green, get rid of it. Get rid
I know,
of it.
right?
Send it outside.
That's what I said too.
Oh,
The stupid
Palma
cat.
said
Civilians don't count.
said the same
Uh-oh.
thing.
Sarah has said the same. Yeah, she did.
I read a cracked article like so many years ago. It was like basically like the worst like universes to be just a regular commoner, and Westeros was like right at the top.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just to be a commoner in Westeros, like you're so screwed, dude.
You're done. You're done. You're done. Unless you're like living in like small villages and just being a farmer, minding your own
even
fucking
then.
No,
business.
no, because then the captains come around because some war got kicked off because somebody smacked
Yeah,
someone
true.
else's face, and then you don't even get like a shield and a sword. You get like your all you've got is like your hoe that you've been farming with, and you have to go to war with that. Like congratulations,
Or,
you're
you know,
the first
just-
one to die.
And then Daenerys dragons come by, eat your sheep, eat your kids, and then it's like you can do about it. Like
Yeah,
this is common happenings in Westeros,
That's so
or I
funny.
guess in Essos at that point.
Speaking of like the common people, what do you guys think
Yes.
of Viseria versus Larys? Because I feel like they are both the Whisperers, and there's going to be some beef between them two.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Keep an eye out on Missaria. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
so-
now. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like, I don't want to spoil future events, but like the fact that Alicent commissioned her murder and her spies, it's gonna play into something else later on.
Oh yeah. Though the only other game in town is going to be unfortunately probably her having to like talk to Daemon because ain't nobody else is going to be hiring when the Greens are actively trying to kill you. So
Yep.
yeah. So we'll see if Daemon can patch up some bridges or anything like that because
Yep.
he's
Yep.
going to need a friend inside the city. I can already tell.
Yeah.
Rumor is in the Fire and Blood. They're probably not gonna do it. That it was Larys Strong, but that's just a rumor. So there's so many rumors, and they're changing a lot of things. Like again, Rhaenys popping out of Dragon Pit like that. That was a whole new thing, killing a bunch of people.
That was a cool moment. I don't care what anyone said. It was a very it felt like a very Marvel moment actually. So for
It was
better or
girl
worse.
bossy. It was too girl bossy for me.
I
don't know.
I just like it's the Thor coming down at the end of Infinity Wars. It was like one of those kind of scenes where like honestly like you can't tell me if we saw this in a theater people wouldn't be cheering at the top
They
of
would.
their lungs.
I
right?
did because it
They
looked
would.
cool. And
Yeah.
Melee's is a beautiful dragon. She's just vicious warrior dragon.
Yes.
Described as lazy in her old age, but very much when you rile her up, she's ready to go.
Yeah.
Dude, her dragon looks sick,
Did
man.
look
Like
good.
red
It-
with the black horns. Like I
good.
was
With
like,
with the spikes everywhere.
heck yeah! Like it more than any of the other dragons we've seen so far looked very much like Daenerys's.
Yes.
But like definitely looked different than Daenerys, but like had the most similar kind of build to her three.
And it looked slimy, like when she opened her mouth and the
Yeah,
and
you
the
saw that spit. Yeah.
Like it was very like you can almost feel it. Like it was least CGI looking dragon so far. Melee's
fair,
in that
true.
moment.
Yeah.
They probably spent all their budget on that scene.
They better
Well,
save
worth
it
it.
for because dragon battles are coming and they're going to be vicious. They better
Yeah.
save their
Yeah,
money.
that's a thing. Oh, now I'm thinking about what's gonna happen.
HBO, spend more, spend more.
yes, yes.
You have the money. Do it.
Yeah, don't tell me you don't have the money when you've been advertising this entire time for you can get for the year you can get HBO for $9.99.
I saw that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're trying to like make sure that like as soon as House of the Dragon is done, you don't just cut your subscription.
Well, speaking of HBO, guys, make sure to like, comment, and share and subscribe to the thing because if we get big enough, we can get screeners so we can watch it a day before and we can have our podcast out to you super early. So that's the goal for next year.
Oh, please,
Dang.
please, I want. That would be a life goal to be able to watch Game of Thrones. I mean, I'm sorry, House of the Dragon a day early with the knowers,
us.
not the plebs.
Yeah, not with the highborns.
Yeah. I want my seat at the table. I'm not trying to dismantle shit.
I just want the armor that Queen Rhaenys was wearing. I mean,
Oh.
oh my god,
That fit check.
the red, the
That
gold,
fit check.
silver.
Was she
She was
wearing
like-
that like under her cloak the whole time? Because
I
it
think they
did
keep it-
kind of look like she had some.
They probably
armor
keep it where
on.
the dragon is.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
they
I
keep it
think
with
yeah.
the dragon.
Dragon.
In
It's like
the
you park your
saddle
car and then you put like the you just park it right next to it.
So, somebody posted to me, I'm like, I better look cute before I commit a war crime.
Oh my god.
I fucking died, man. I
Oh,
died.
that's perfect.
Yo, the memes are insane. I love the memes. They're so
Oh my
good.
god. They make it bearable. Like, this is a very violent show. A lot of people are or going to die and are dying, and like the memes are just kind of like taking the edge off. I swear to God.
Yeah, we don't deserve Twitter. Twitter
No, we
is a
Different
it is-
animal.
Elon Musk better not ruin it.
I promise
Yes.
I promise you, if Game of Thrones was real, people would still be tweeting shit like this.
yeah. They already do. Like, have you seen like, especially like for like politics and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah.
when the Ukraine war popped off, man, it was phenomenal.
The
Like-
one to
like
laugh
the-
at that. My God.
The Ghost of Kiev. Like, it's the
May he
poster
rest in
with
peace.
what's his name and
The
he's
Reaper of
like,
Kiev and everybody.
who is it? Dexter's Laboratory, where he's like, stun on these hoes.
Oh my god. The internet remains undefeated, man, for better or worse. I'm
Swear to God.
sorry.
Chill died in 2012, and we haven't had an ounce of it since. And I'm
None
here for it
whatsoever.
because
I'm here for it.
I'm all gas, no brakes, full chaos. Let's fucking go.
Someone said, World War III nukes are being collected. I'm like, okay. And can I get coffee today somewhere with extra
Yeah.
sugar?
Just
Me-
wait.
me-
Do I have to go? Do I have to go to work? Can I have a day off?
Like, what do you want me to do about it? World War
Bro,
III.
y'all
What do you
don't
want me to
believe
do?
this, but a friend of mine in Chicago, she's a physician at a hospital there. Their talk today was how to deal with nuclear fallout. Like, people are prepping for this shit.
Well, I'm glad they
No.
are, because
Dude.
Yeah.
Like, swear to God, they're like, doctors are being told prep for this shit just in case.
Listen,
You know
man.
what? If that comes, doesn't really matter. You're done. We're all done.
Look, if we're gonna go down, at least we'll go down memeing.
Exactly. No better
Yeah.
way to go.
Millennial
an
power.
asteroid could be coming at the world,
Through
and the
the
last
World War
thing
III.
tweeted would be like, "All right, I'm out."
Oh man, that'll be so funny. Sad but funny.
The aliens found us, and they do not want to make contact. They're like, "No, this species is doomed."
They fucked around and found out, and we're not leaving.
Yeah.
You know how like we look at hieroglyphics from like ancient like times and try to figure out what they are. Like aliens will come down and look at our meme to try to figure out what the hell went wrong.
Hold up. I know
Why
the
are there
perfect
so many
meme for
dick
this.
pics?
What is this frog thing?
Oh,
man.
Oh my god, hilarious!
That's so funny. Jad, let's do some last minute memes and then we gotta go to
Hold
our
up,
next
hold
show.
up. I know the perfect meme for aliens to find.
Oh, not
when-
memes. Sorry, I meant comments. Let's do some last minute comments.
Oh, I'm showing the meme though, because this is the meme I hope they find. Then when aliens find us.
what?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Nobody knows what it is.
No, you won't know. It's what the.
It probably will be the most obscure meme. That'll be the last meme to ever exist.
I feel dumb. I have no idea when.
I don't know what that
No,
is.
I think it's. I don't think it's supposed to have meaning
It's not.
or
The
purpose.
okay.
whole point of that is to be so
Uh-huh.
absurd that no one has any idea what it is.
Okay.
Sounds right. Sounds right.
And that's the one they're gonna find. And they're gonna be like, these people are fucking idiots. I swear to God.
Yeah. All right, Jazz. Comments. We're gonna do
Comments.
like one or two comments, and then we'll have to move on.
Yes, the greens did not smell good after the dragon came in. Facts.
Oh right.
Oh, true.
The dragon
I can
breath.
smell it.
Okay. Yes, there are 3 different species of dragons, or 3 different, I guess,
Species.
Subclasses.
phenotypes would be the word for that.
Worms. Yeah. There's different ones.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's ready for the next episode. Also true.
That's the finale. Next episode's the finale. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so sad. I won't get to see you guys after the next finale. We gotta have you on some other shows. We gotta find some
Oh,
other
yeah,
shows to have you
yeah.
guys be on the show.
Absolutely, because
Ooh.
the season 2 won't be till 2024.
Oh no, I'm gonna miss you
Yeah,
guys.
I know. So we have to
I mean,
find
we can
another
still
show.
have them on. Like,
Yeah, that's true. We could always have them. We don't
Thoughts
need
on Aegon's bastards having white hair and Rhaenyra's sons don't? Because blood
The
of
male
first man is strong.
yeah.
Oh,
Is
true.
that what it is?
and then the
And the
men's,
male.
typically the male line, at least for like them, because they have like a really dumb sense of genetics. But typically, when bastards are born, they typically have the male's hair color. Look at Joffrey Baratheon and all them. The only
Yeah,
exception was
you're
Jon
right.
Snow, truly. And he's lucky because if he had that white hair, his ass is done for in a month.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bobby G was gonna get him.
Somebody asked me that question. I was like, Ned will probably just dye it some color and then claim purple eyes from Ashara Dane. I'm like, Dane's coming in clutch every time. I'm telling you.
All right, man. Well, I don't think we have enough time for episode 10 expectations, but we are definitely going to cover episode 10.
Tissues.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely cover that one, so that'll be fun.
No, I like
don't be within punching distance of your screen. Just do yourself that favor.
Tissues.
Oh no.
Okay. For anger and just enjoy.
Anger.
Enjoy the sadness and the pain.
And you will meet Vermithor.
Yeah.
The Bronze Fury, baby. He's coming.
All right. I'm excited. But guys, thank you guys so much for being on the show. JJ, can you let people know where they can find you?
TikTok and Twitter under Lady Dragon JJ. I post right now about House of the Dragon mostly, but as the show shifts, it'll be back into A Song of Ice and Fire lore, Star Wars, and Marvel. You guys can find me there. Thank you for having me.
Richard's at Fuck Off Harvey
on
Neebs
Twitter
at Watch with Neebs, and me at MUAjazz. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you to the chat and my friends there. You guys are awesome.
Y'all are always very interactive. It's fun.
Thank
you. Seeing y'all.
It makes it so much more fun to have you guys on the chat, and it's so exciting. And you guys have such great insight and jokes and opinions. So thank you guys for always joining us in the chat. And if you don't join us in the chat, guys, what are you doing every Tuesday? Every Tuesday at 10:30. Join us.
Tomorrow's next Tuesday's a big one. It's finale.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then we may do one after that just to decompress.
Yeah. Well, until next time, guys. Salaam, nerds.
Peace.
Yeah.